If you think about it, the left-wing media has transitioned from, a couple of decades ago. You could argue then that they were in the news business. Now they are, in essence, inciting a level of violence and hatred that will spill over into terrorism in the United States. And this has already begun to happen.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
And welcome to the fourth hour. Mike Adams here filling in for the fourth hour of InfoWars broadcast today. It's a pleasure to be joining you today. Although I am concerned, of course, about the future of our nation and what's going on. I want to hear from you in this segment. So we're opening up the phone lines, and I encourage you to call in on the Fonda issue or border control, how the left-wing media is exploiting children yet again. Everything that they want to accomplish, they have to exploit children. The phone number is 877-789-ALEX. That's 877-789-2539. And please limit your topics for today to the border issues and the exploitation of children by the left-wing media, or what I call actually journalistic terrorism. If you think about it, the left-wing media has transitioned from, a couple of decades ago. You could argue then that they were in the news business. Now they are, in essence, inciting a level of violence and hatred that will spill over into terrorism in the United States. And this has already begun to happen. We saw today, I believe, the arrest of one individual, a Democrat, who was threatening the children of, was that an ICE agent or was that another member of Congress? I'll have to check the details on that. But we're seeing the violence starting to break out now. Yeah, and remember, we had that Democrat go to the baseball game and try to shoot and kill conservative members of Congress, including, a Senator, Rand Paul, who was there and survived that shooting. And Steve Scalise, of course, was hit and potentially killed. I mean, nearly killed, but he survived it thanks to medicine and thanks to emergency services and thanks to the Capitol Police who defended him. And what I see happening here, you got to understand, this is an intentional agenda to push America into a state of open, kinetic, civil warfare. This is an attempt by the media establishment to drive this country into a state of civil war so that they can call for UN occupation. Never forget, this is about creating chaos. This is about creating terrorism on U.S. soil. This is about protecting criminals through sanctuary cities. And this is about creating so much chaos that eventually, even if Trump stays in office, and even if he wins in 2020, and even if conservatives continue to win at the election booths, they will still cause so much chaos and violence that they'll call for UN occupation of America. That's where this is actually going. Once again, InfoWars is ahead of the curve on understanding exactly where this is going and why the mainstream media, the left-wing media, is trying to push us in that direction. Bottom line, they can't win on the merits of their arguments. They can't win a debate, so they have to censor everyone. They can't win on logic and reason and historical facts. They can't win on legislation. So what do? They resort to screaming babies. That's their argument. Their argument is a screaming baby in your face. That's the argument of the left, because they have no basis anymore. They have no logic, no reason, nothing. Let's go to Rick in New Mexico calling in on the line. Rick, we've only got a couple minutes left, but welcome to the show. Welcome to InfoWars. Let's hear what you've got to say on this issue.
Good. How are you today? I do believe that Fonda should go to prison immediately. And for the last 2 days, I've been trying to call the White House switchboard to leave comments and messages for the president to have Comey and Mueller put in prison immediately.
So, Rick, I really appreciate your view on that. I happen to agree with you, but can you state why you believe that James Comey should be imprisoned in particular?
Well, because he's been the Clintons' patsy boy for the last 30-something years. When Clinton was in Arkansas, he was his attorney general there, covering up Mena, Arkansas, and all the drugs. And how do you think someone like Comey is worth $45 million?
Well, let me ask you this, Rick. Do you think that there's any real chance that someone like James Comey will actually face prison time in the United States? Is Trump going to be able to drain the swamp, or do we have a two-tiered justice system and there's no hope of ever holding these people accountable? What's your take?
I'm hoping they get held accountable. I really do. And I've also called the FBI office here in New Mexico and told him that I just don't trust anything these guys say anymore. And the DOJ system should be gotten rid of immediately also. I think it's just a cover-up, everybody else's cover-up.
Well, you are a well-informed American. Thank you for your call. It's Rick, right? New Mexico. Thank you for your call. I appreciate you chiming in. I think many listeners and many Americans agree with you. We're going to go to another call right after the break, which is coming up. But I have seen on other websites that people saying that the FBI and the DOJ, one website designated them as, quote, enemy combatants, which, I had never seen that term for them. I agree that the FBI, at least at the high levels of FBI, they are engaged in treason against America. And I agree that the DOJ under Obama was in many ways engaged in treason and multiple felony crimes. To designate them enemy combatants, that seems to be a whole different level of discussion that maybe we could entertain that discussion. But for now, I think we all agree there's a lot of people that need to go to prison, and they're still in the FBI and the DOJ. This is Mike Adams here filling in at InfoWars, 4th hour for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break with more of your calls.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.